participant in the second session of one-day webinar on IPR and patenting. In the first session, we have listened Mr. Padmin sir, and he has enlightened us a lot on the basic things of this IPR and patenting. Now we are in the second session of this one-day webinar with our another speaker. So I request Shweta Shah ma'am to introduce ma'am with the participant and start the session.
Thank you, Radhesham sir. Good afternoon to all the participants in the second session of one-day webinar or Intellectual Property Rights and Patenting, organized by Department of Computer Science and Information Technology, Chameli Devi Group of Institution, Indore. I, Shweta Shah, Assistant Professor in Computer Science Department, welcome you all in this session. For this session, we have with us eminent speaker, Dr. Prachi Pandey. It is my honor to introduce ma'am with these participants. Dr. Prachi Pandey is currently working as Associate Professor in BITS Campus, Vadodara, Gujarat. She has done B Pharma and M Pharma from Birla Institute of Technology. She has done PhD from GTU, Ahmedabad. She has rich experience of 14 years in academic and research. In addition, she has completed postgraduate diploma in patent laws for National Academy for Legal Studies and Research, Hyderabad. She is a registered patent agent of India Patent Office. She has received research grants in AICTE and SSIP Gujarat under the various schemes. Recently, she has been impaneled as legal counselor in Startup Clinic program of SSIP Gujarat. I must say, ma'am has lots of achievements and awards in her career. So now I request ma'am to take over the charge and address the audience with her knowledge.
Thank you, Madam Shweta, ma'am.
Thank you.
Good afternoon to all the participants, the dignitaries, Dr. Shadendra Mishra sir, Dr. Manmohan Singh sir. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak on IPR, that is a crucial subject in the field of innovation for Chameli Devi Group of Institution, that is a prestigious institution in Madhya Pradesh. So I'm truly enlightened to make some highlights over IPR and the patent. I'm a little bit going in deep. So I request all the participants to, if you have some innovation or you are thinking of filing a patent, then you should thoroughly go through it and you can prepare your patent application itself here only. So can I share my screen now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So today I'm going to cover the basics of IPR, and I'm emphasizing the claim drafting and patent filing procedures. So this is the era of innovation with the concept of PM Narendra Modi, that is the Atmanirbhar Bharat. Now everybody is reliant on startup and entrepreneurship. And according to KPMG survey, India is the third largest tech innovation leader in the world. And it is growing by leaps and bounds. So the intellectual property protection is become a mandatory prerequisite for any innovation, because once we do the innovation, we need to protect it. Am I audible, I think, to everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Perfectly audible.
Okay, fine. So there is a strong intellectual property laws that protect the innovation, and it is a legal matter that inhibit anybody to infringe you. So once somebody does a good innovation, they must protect it. What are the means of protection are patent, trademark, copyright. Another is the protection through geographical indications, but that is, I think, not for us like tech innovators. Another is the trade secret, through which the innovations can be protected. Now, there is a difference between invention and innovation. Whenever we do some technical advancement in the existing prior art, involve enough human intervention, involve inventive steps, and make it better than already existing product or process, then it is called as innovation. Invention, whenever we are designing it for the first time, preparing it for the first time, it becomes an invention. Nowadays, our technological field is full of innovations, and yeah, you have to prove. Everybody need to prove it that they are better than the existing prior art. So for that, there are three means: patent, trademark, and copyright. So let's have a brief glance over it. So copyright is governed by Copyright Act 1957, trademark by Trademark Act 1999, whereas patent is governed by Patent Act 1970. There is a huge difference among all these three types of protection. The copyright is the protection of original creative expressions, literary works, artistic works, dramatical works. But it's very important that, especially as I'm speaking for computer science department, a computer program is a matter of copyright. But once we utilize the computer program for development of some hardware or some applicable product, then it becomes patentable. Suppose a computer program is a written program that is used to for some banking softwares, or making a rubber molding machine, or helping in designing of a machine that is better with the use of software, that product become patentable. So once we have a computer program, we can go for copywriting it, and then we can also file the patent if our computer program is very much applicable, and we are preparing a product using that computer program, or making a good application, so that applicable product become itself patentable. Trademark is like, actually there are a lot many startups, and we are promoting startups in state of Gujarat. I'm very much advocating much about the trademark. Like once a startup found a company, like they become a founder of a company, they should give some unique name to their product or their company. So that uniqueness is a demarcation that distinguishes them from the another company's product or the another company's profile. So it could be a logo, shape, color, anything. Suppose Adidas logo, then that Coca-Cola bottle, that is a shape mark. Then even the sound marks. Some bike in India recently has got a sound mark of that particular. Whenever they start, they have a particular sound. Uh, Anything like your Tata Sons, they already have certain type of graphics as well as some name. So that is very unique, very quaint word. They shouldn't elaborate the nature of the substance. Suppose if I'm telling rasoi is for cooking oil, earlier it was approved, but now it is banned because it was elaborating it. Fortune is for cooking oil, that is approved. So it shouldn't elaborate, it should be very quaint word. That is the trademark. In terms of validity, copyright has a huge advantage that it has a lifetime of till the lifetime of author plus 60 years after the death of the author. So even the future generations can get benefit from that. So copyrightable matter are literary, artistic, computer programs, software, standard operating procedures, all are copyrightable matter. It has the highest validity. Trademark has a validity of 10 years that could be renewed further, whereas patent has a validity of 20 years. What is the criteria of patentability are the three, that every product or process must pass the nonce test. N for novelty, U for utility, then N for non-obviousness, and S for statutory matter. So it should be novel. It shouldn't be reported earlier. It should be new. It should have usefulness. We cannot prepare anything which is very obvious, non-useful, then it is not patentable. And it should be industrially applicable. Means it should have enough reproducibility. Once it is giving us some result, every time whenever they are prepared or they are applied, they should give the same result. So they should have enough reproducibility. And yes, statutory legal matter means they shouldn't fall in the criteria of non-patentability. Means there are a list in the section 3 of the Patent Act which gives the matter which are not patentable. So they shouldn't fall in that criteria. So it's very important that they should be new, first of all. As a symbolic representation of copyright, you already might have seen this particular symbol, C. Whereas for trademark, whenever registration process is going on, it is TM. When registration is complete, R mark is there, that is on the products. Patent, there is no symbolic representation. Another thing, what I want to say here is like usefulness. Copyright is basically for intellectual creations. Trademark is for brands, whereas patent is for new innovations. Copyright means once the copyright is created, it is applied, then exclusive rights over the matter goes to the author. Trademark, once they are registered, nobody else can use that mark. If they are using, they are infringing. And once the infringement suits have been filed, they might face the process of injunction, damage, even they have to give back the money they have earned using that trademark. Patent registration, once we apply in the Indian Patent Office and we get a priority dating after filing our provisional application, from that date, we can claim the validity of our product. Means till from that day, till 20 years, nobody else can prepare, nobody else can market. In copyright, there is no provisional application required. In trademark, the important thing is that provisional application is not there, but trademark search report is important. You have to search for trademark, and the search report is submitted. Patent, for patent, we need to file a provisional application, and within 12 months, we need to file a complete specification. Now, I'm elaborating what are provisional, what are complete, and all. But first of all, if some startups are there nowadays in every university, startups are growing up. So I'm just giving you a brief. There are 80% rebate on filing fees. So startups are eligible for 80% rebate. Application fee just 1,600, whereas for other companies it is 8,000. Startup can go for early publication by filling the form 9, and fee just 2,500, whereas for companies it is a little bit higher. Fast examination. Expedited examination can be done for startups where the process gets completed within 105 days. So in 105 days, the full examination can be completed and the first examination report can be received, and it just needs 8,000 rupees to be paid for the startups, whereas for companies it is little bit much higher. So I'm just want to say, suppose if you have filed a patent, it takes about 1 day through e-filing. For publication, through expedited publication process, it takes 1 month for publication. Fast examination takes just 105 days, so 3 months or 5 months, and so in 6 months approx as a gross you can have your patent in your hand, granted patent for startups. And also there is one more advantage is that there is 90% refund uh, if the project is not complete, or the startups feels that they cannot market, or market competitors are a little big, they cannot compete, they can withdraw their patent applications, and there is a provision of 90% refund of the fees. The last one is that it's not related to IPR, but yes, there is tax exemption for 3 years after the founding of the company. Types of patent application are ordinary, convention, patent of addition, PCT national page, PCT international application, and divisional application. So ordinary application is like whenever we file a provisional or a complete specification in our own country, it becomes an ordinary application. Convention means whenever we file in a convention country. So there are a lot of countries which are bound together through Paris Convention, which says that we file in our country and simultaneously we can apply in all convention countries and can claim our priority dating on the same date that we have filed in our country. So it's a kind of agreement that once we file, this should be valid in all convention countries. PCT application is again the Patent Cooperation Treaty. So 152 countries are the like members of the PCT. Here also the same thing is there. We file in our own country. Within 12 months, we file the international application. And we have still a 30 months to enter in the national phase. So, but we can claim the priority dating on the same date that we have filed the international application. So there is a huge advantage. Is like there is a lot of fussy thing is like to go in every country and file the patent. So one international application can give you a coverage in all 152 countries. So that is a big field. I'm just giving a brief highlight over it. And patent of addition. Patent of addition is like somewhere after filing the patent application. or after even the grant of the patent application, if the innovator feels that he could have done even better, or he is doing continuously the research and he has some very good findings related to the earlier patent, earlier innovation. So he can file the patent of addition, adding up the innovative features that he has found later. And yes, this application could be filed after the grant also. So, but yeah, they shouldn't be different. Means there should be some technical advancement. They shouldn't claim something very different in the patent of addition. Divisional application is a application whenever what happens whenever innovation is being going on, there are a lot of findings come together. But there is a term called unity of invention, means all findings, all outcomes must be related to a particular product or a particular process. There shouldn't be many findings, and all findings together cannot be filed in a single patent application. Simply, the patent examiner feels that you are covering lot of different innovations in a single patent application and by paying a single fee. So they don't allow it. They say you to file different divisional application, because one finding or one innovation, for one innovation, one patent application can be filed. For 2 or 3 innovations, you need to file the different patent applications. So even the innovator by itself can divide their application and can file different patent application, or examiner even can say them to do that. Paris Convention and Patent Cooperation Treaty, actually nowadays, why I'm emphasizing it, because India is the largest search authority in the world, second largest. So nowadays, Indians are filing patent application all over the world through PCT route. So in Paris Convention, we can file a local application, and within 12 months, you can go in any other country and you can claim the priority dating as this. So suppose today you have filed, within 1 year, you have filed the complete specification, including all the claims. But you can claim the priority dating as this one in all countries, all convention countries that you choose to file. In PCT also the same way, it's a little bit different. There is more advancement added. We file, suppose today I have filed a local application, that is a provisional one. Within 12 months, I have filed the complete specification, and after 30 months, I can enter in the different countries, and I can claim the priority date as this one, the date of international application. So see, there are a lot of examinations, processes go on in between this time, and the innovator might be very aware that their innovations are really good, patentable or not, because these reports can give them an idea, and then they can decide at the end of 30 months whether to enter in which country or to just confine in our own country. I'm telling you a very important thing. Why we are doing patent search? It is said that patent is a territorial right. Suppose you have taken a patent of your product in India. So you can market your product in India. You cannot market in any other country. But even then it is said that search innovations for sites all over the world and find out that your innovation must not be a part of earlier done work. So why it is said that once a patent is published in any of the part of the world by any of the patent office, they become a prior art. And once we are not marketing in that country, even then we cannot use anything that is already in the prior art. So that is the meaning of novelty lost. So if we have to search thoroughly all over the world that my work is not reported, then only I can file a patent. So that's why we do a patent search thoroughly. I'm filing in India, I'm patenting in India, but I'm searching all over the world, because my work shouldn't be a part of the prior art reported anywhere in the world, because that is a criteria of novelty testing. Clear? Then I think I have to go directly to the how to file. So first we need to file a provisional specification. It's very important to file first, because in India there is a system of first to file. Those who have filed first will get the priority dating and they have the rights. Anybody who files just 1 day later to you, or even seconds later to you, just even in seconds, because they give time in your day, time, minutes, seconds, even that. So from that time, the patent, whenever it is reported to patent office, you can claim your rights from that day, that time, that second. So it's very important that once you have a very good idea in your mind, you should go for provisional filing. Provisional filing doesn't contain the claims, but it contains like basic features of the innovation. But the benefits are numerous. So once you file today, suppose you have still 12 months to complete your project, to draft the claims, draw the findings, properly draw your drawings. If you have some like semiconductor circuits or layouts, you can draw it properly, label, and still you have 12 months time. What is important here is like in 12 months, you can like make lot of innovative steps. You can add up the inventive steps and you can perfectly draw the claims. But still you have the priority dating that is 12 months earlier. So you can claim from that time. What is important also here is like, suppose we cannot complete the work within 12 months and we need more time. So if we don't file our application within 12 months, our application is deemed to be abandoned, but we can post date it. After post dating, we can again get 12 more months from the Indian Patent Office for completing our work. What is a provisional? It is containing the scope of innovation. Scope means what you are doing and what you are going to get. But it is very important that what is you are stating in the scope, your complete specification and claims must be based on that. Anything different cannot be done. So a rough set of claims must be designed while filing the provisional specification, because in the complete, if you are differing or you are stating something different, patent office may say you to file a divisional application, because they may feel that you have filed something else for provisional and now claiming something else incomplete. So they may say you that you filed a divisional, means you filed two patents. So provisional and completes are different. This might be the case. So whenever we file a provisional, it's very important that we draw a rough set of claims and then we work over it. And then in complete specification, we should elaborate it thoroughly. What are the forms that need to be filed in a patent application? This is the basic forms. Form 1, where we apply with our basic details. Form 2 is the provisional or complete specification, where this is the main body of our patent application, where all details of our innovations are there in Form 2. Form 5 is declaration of inventorship. This form is filled only when the applicant is not an inventor. So they have to state, means applicant has to state that this is the true and first inventor or assignee of the innovator. So a declaration of inventorship must be filed along with the Form 2 in the case when applicant is not an innovator. Form 26 is filed when it is filed through a patent agent, otherwise it is not required. E-filing fees is 1600. The paper filing fees 1750, 1750. Form 3 is also mandatorily to be filed along with all the documents which state that I am not filing in any foreign country. Or if you are filing in any foreign country, then you need to state it. Yes, I am going for PCT application or I am going to file in some other country. So Form 3 is statement or undertaking for foreign filing. So we have to take actually permission from Indian Patent Office before going to any other country. And then we have to submit our illustrations, drawings. We have to draw our project, level them thoroughly, because that design is also patentable. Somebody else cannot use the same design. What are the steps of patent filing? First is the idea incubation phase. Once we have an idea, we have to think, what is my idea? Is it patentable or not? So we have to see first the novelty. We have to go for patent search. It shouldn't be reported worldwide. It should be unique, useful to the society. It should have some degree of reproducibility that we can check. And yes, it shouldn't fall in any non-patentable subject matter. So there is a full list of non-patentable subject matter, which are mostly the theory, scientific theories, anything assembled or arranged like this. These are some of the innovations which are not patentable. So we have to test it. Then what is important, that what problem we are going to solve. Patent office also sees it, that it should be useful and it should be non-obvious. Means we cannot make something that is very obvious and anybody say that, yeah, if somebody has a proper knowledge they can make it. No, not like that. You have to make something in which enough human intervention is involved and adequate inventive steps have been added, and yes, technical advancement over the prior art must be there, then only it is unique, novel. What is the field of innovation? It has to be drawn. What is the advantage of my innovative idea? And then write down what components are being used in my innovative idea in the form of a proper flow chart, block diagrams, because it's your innovation. So it should be thoroughly explained by figures, drawings, illustrations, everything, so that you have a full protection over everything. So, and it's very important that if something is already reported and you are making a new version of that, it becomes very obvious. So it should be non-obvious, simply. So suppose you are making a machine using a particular type of induction motor, somebody is again making the same but use some another type of motor, and they are saying that they are working same. The utility is also the same, but I have used a different component. It's simply meaning it is an obvious invention. You have not added more human intervention. And yes, competitors must be taken in account, that what are the products already in market and how you are going to be better than that. Because launching a same product in the market is not useful according to patent office also. So it should be different and it should have a proper efficacy, means it should have a proper efficiency as compared to the already existing product. Whenever we do this type of mapping, we have to go for the patent search. Patent search could be done through the IP India, that is www.ipindia.nic.in. That is important because we are going to patent it in India. And we have to search in world also, that I earlier told that it shouldn't be a part of any invention all across the world. So the simplest site is WIPO, World Intellectual Property Organization, through which we can get all the patents filed all over the world. And from there we can have an idea. We can go through the patent application and see that am I falling in the criteria of infringing, or am I infringing them? Am I abusing them? Because I have just making the same product that is already reported. So if something is reported and you are making a more advanced version of that, then definitely it is patentable. So you have to find out the loopholes, to solve the loopholes, and then to go a little more ahead, make little bit better product, then go for patenting. So criteria is novelty, first not reported. The same thing must not be reported. Non-obviousness, you shouldn't make something that is already there without applying more human intervention, and it should be industrially applicable. So these three parts are important. Industrially applicable, simple means they should be able to be scaled up. In bigger scale also they can be produced, manufactured. So in this way, once we go for the patent search, we have to make a patent search report, and that has to be included with our patent application. Once we have included the field of invention, patent search report, we have to do the patent drafting. So patent drafting is the main body of our patent, and it is very crucial whenever we disclose our innovation in the right way, so that we can cover the innovation well, but also shouldn't infringe somebody else's innovation. So whenever we write our claim, it should be perfectly to our point, shouldn't be such that anybody else can infringe us, and it shouldn't be that we are infringing others. I'm giving you some examples, it would be better understood. Whenever you draft the claim, it's very important that every component must be incorporated, each part, because if you leave something, that become open for infringement. Somebody else can make using that particular component. Step 4 is filing. Once you prepare your patent application, you need to file. Filing require less than 1 day. Is 1600. And once it reaches the patent office, through e-filing it reaches in seconds, you can get a priority number. So that is the filing date from which your 20 years are counted. So from the date of filing till 20 years, nobody else can enter in the market without your permission or unless until you license them for marketing. Step 5 comes as the publication. Once you file, normally within after 18 months, they are published. But if you want expedited publication, then you can fill the form 9 and you have to pay a fee of 2500, after which it could be published within 1 month. After publication, whenever you apply for request for examination, unless until you apply the request for examination, your application is not open for any opposition or any examination. So you need to file the RFE. Once you file RFE, but RFE must be filed within 48 months from the date of filing. So suppose today you have filed your patent application, within 48 months, you need to file the request for examination. It is done by filling the form 80 or by paying a fee of 4,000. But if you want expedited examination, you can fill the form 18A and can pay a fee of 8,000, and it can be examined within 105 days only. So after receiving the examination report, what are the possibilities? One possibility is that once you have applied for examination, then your application is open for opposition. So one possibility is that somebody might have, interested person may oppose it. So if somebody opposes it, then there is some objections, there is some issues, and they intimate it to the patent office. Patent office consider those objections and give you a notification about that these are the point of opposition and you have to answer that. If somebody doesn't oppose it, patent examiner, whenever examine the patent application, they find out the loopholes. What are the loopholes? First of all, they test it for nonce test, novelty, utility, non-obviousness, and it shouldn't be in the section 3, non-patentable matter. Also, they see that they should be useful, they shouldn't be made earlier, they should go for the like all patent search report. They see all these things, and if they itself find out some problems, some loopholes, they give you an intimation. So in first case, whenever some objections are raised by somebody else or the patent examiner, you need to answer. You need to justify, you need to plead, or you need to say, no, it is not like that. I have searched it. My innovation is novel, unique, all those things. If suppose you are not able to do that and you feel that they are correct, then you have the like opportunity, I can say, to amend it. You can do some amendments, and after amendment, you can refile. So yeah, patent office gives you a full opportunity to do that. You can make some modification and you can refile it so that it could be accepted. If you don't like answer the queries or do not amend, then your application will be rejected. So normally whenever we give a proper response to objections and the patent officer or the examiner gets satisfied with that, they can grant the patent as per the section 43 as soon as possible. So I'm just giving you a very brief highlight what to do. First, you file a provisional application. Within 12 months, you file the complete specification. Provisional application contains the field of innovation, the patent search report, the background, the objective, what you are going to do, and abstract. Whereas complete specification also contains the field of innovation, background, basic summary, abstract, but in addition it contains the claims. That is the most important part, what you claim. And once you file the complete specification within 12 months, then it is accepted. If you cannot file within 12 months, your application is deemed to be abandoned. What is option after that? Because you couldn't complete your work within 12 months, so you couldn't file the complete and your application is abandoned. In that case, you can post date to the application to the date of provisional. Yeah. So date of complete. So suppose today I have filed a provisional and I have a 1 year to file the complete, but I couldn't file after 1 year. I can request patent office to post date my patent application to the date of complete specification, and now I will be lagged by 1 year. But yes, my patent application will not be abandoned and I will get further 12 months to complete my project. But the problem is that if somebody else is doing and if they have done earlier than you, because ideas comes in everybody's mind. So if they have done earlier than you, then they will have the right because they will be ahead of you in filing the provisional. Okay, so suppose if the provisional complete is done within 12 months, then publication is done after 18 months. If you want to do through expedited publication, then it could be done in 1 month. After publication, if you file the request for examination, then application will be open for opposition and also examination. Once examination is done through normal process or through expedited process by filling the form 18A, the first examination report is issued by the examiner. Now we have the normally 6 months are there to answer the objection or amending the application. So in 6 months, the applicant can either answer the query or can amend the application. And if they can answer thoroughly, the patent application is granted, or they can amend. Both the options are there. If they don't do any of them, neither they amend nor they answer to the objections, their application will need to be abandoned again. Simply meaning they just give a warning that they will be abandoned, and again they can refile the patent application. So this is the basic that how to file and how to go. But just I want to say in a very brief that whenever we file a provisional specification, we should have a clear demarcation that in 12 months we should be ready with the project. And in 12 months, we need to file the complete specification claims and then go with the normal process or the expedited process. These are the forms. This is the form 1. That is the first form of the patent application. Here, this is for office use only. For applicant, the name, nationality, address, inventor. Here, suppose applicant and inventor are the same. There is no need to file the form 5, declaration of inventorship. If they are different, then you need to file the form 5. So in the form 1, applicant detail, inventor detail, title of inventions, their full detail. And if the applicant is filing through the Paris Convention or the PCT route, then they need to mention the details. If they have filed through PCT route, then they have to write down the international application number. Or if they are filing a divisional application, they have to file the divisional application number. Or patent of addition, they can file the patent of addition number. So there are options given in a single form. If it is just a provisional, write here not applicable, not applicable, not applicable in all of them. Paris Convention, PCT, divisional or patent of addition. Then declaration part is there, just some signing part, names, and here the details of the DD of 1750 or that you are attaching with your patent application. All these things. Form 2. Now form 2 contains the title of invention or innovation, the detail of the applicant, then preamble, provisional or complete ka. So provisional means what? You have to write down the field of invention, the description of innovation, the background, the summary, the abstract, and if it is a complete, you have to write down the claim. I claim, we claim, and you have to write down in clear point wise what are the components of your innovation. Abstract is for both provisional or complete. So this is a common format for provisional and complete specification, form 2. Form 3 is declaration of foreign filing. Here, the name of the applicants are there, their details, and then if the assignee, because the innovator could be a natural innovator or the assignee of the innovator or the legal representative, that is the patent agent. All the three can file. So they have to write down their detail and they have to properly say that they are making the same application, they are filing the same application outside India or not. So they need to state here in Form 3. Rest part are just sign and name part. Form 5, as I said, if the applicant is not an innovator or inventor, they need to state that this is the innovator. So applicant has to write the name of the innovator and say that statement that this particular person is the innovator of the project. Form 9, this is the request for publication. Here also just the name, nationality and address has to be written, and this number is the priority number, patent number, that we receive from the Indian Patent Office after filing our provisional or complete specification. So it's not like that we file provisional and then after 12 months we file complete. It's not like that. If we're ready with our project, we can directly file the complete specification and we can get the priority number, and then we can directly go for the publication of the patent. So here we just need to write down the priority number that we have received and then the signatures. Forms are very simple. We need to write just our detail and the details of the project. The Form 9 is form for publication. Form 18A, this is 18 or 18A. 18 is for normal examination. 18A is for expedited examination. Here also nothing is there, just the name of the innovator, patent number, that is the priority number received from Patent Office, filed on date of filing, for the invention title of innovation, just like this. If the request for examination for a PCT application is being done, this second part need to be filled. Otherwise, just the first part need to be filled, and rest part here we can write down just not applicable, not applicable. Then you have to state whether the applicant is a startup. Here the Patent Office in 2019 amendment has given a very useful program for women entrepreneurs. It's like if any among the applicant, if one is a female, then they can have the 80% rebate in the examination fee. So they can avail the same facility as a startup. So if some faculty members are filing a patent, so if among them one member is a female, then they can have the benefit of 80% rebate in examination, publication, everything. Means like all benefits like that of a startup. So this is important. So here we need to click that it is a startup or something. Just a minute. So now we will see what need to be filed in a patent application. Once we prepare our patent application, we first need to state the title. Suppose a smart helmet. It is a title of a project, or development of a smart helmet. You can do it like, you can state the title like this. It should normally within 15 words. Then you have to state the field of innovation. What is the field? Suppose if it is a computer science, then you have to write down this is a field of this, and I'm going inside more and of this. Suppose this is an algorithm, then you have to write down that I'm using this particular field, which is an algorithm based system, which is utilized for this. So you have to just a small paragraph write about what is the field of your innovation. Then background, simply meaning you have done a correct patent search and you have to prepare a patent search report. So you have to write down that this particular patent number state this. Like this, you have to enlist some patents and you have to say that at the last that my innovation is not matching or it's going to be better than the stated patents. So you have to be better or novel. Novel means not the same, or better means you are technically advanced than them. So background patent search report is it becomes a part of that. Object of innovation. What is your objective? So suppose if I'm saying I'm preparing a smart helmet for security purpose and for preventing me from emergency situations. So this is my objective. So whenever I draft my claim, so my claim must be solving that problem. So if I'm saying that my objective is this, I definitely need to achieve that. So objective must be set very rationally, reasonably, what could be achieved. So you have to write down at least 2-3 objectives, and those objectives must be supported later on by your claims or findings. Statement of innovation. Statement simply meaning what you are doing which is innovative. Suppose I am doing a particular work and I have added these components, I have added these advantages to make it more applicable, useful, you need to write it in that. That is statement of invention. What you are doing better, what human interventions are involved, that you need to write here. Summary, you have to write down all detailed description. What component did you use? What method have been used? What is the best mode? What is the drawing? What is the feature? What are the schemes? All these things, full detail are given in the summary of invention. And then drawings. If you draw something, you make a layout, then you have to label each of the parts of them, and then you have to write down the description. Suppose 1 is this, 2 is this, 3 is this, like this. So you label the parts by 1, 2, 3, and then you describe what are those parts. This is why important, because nobody else can make the same design, can use the same component, or can use the same assemblies. Means where you have assembled, they cannot assemble on the same position. So that is important, that whenever it is drawn, it has to be drawn very perfectly, and every part need to be named. Detailed description. Then claims are very important. Is like they make independent claim that is describing the full innovation in a single line. I'm not saying a single line. A single line could be a line which could be a 1-page line. Means like a single line which is interconnected with each other and could be a very long sentence describing your full innovation. That become an independent claim. And then dependent claims are all resting over the independent claim. Means elaborating your first independent claim. Just I'm giving you a very brief example. These are the types of claim based on drafting, innovation, field, and structure. But what is important here, how to write a patent claim. So there are 3 parts of a patent claim: preamble, transition phase, and the body. What is a preamble? Preamble means what is a product, apparatus, device, article, composition, method, process. That is a preamble. So suppose my preamble, my purpose is to cook rice. So preamble is an apparatus for cooking. Suppose if I am writing an apparatus for cooking rice, so somebody else can make the same device and state that this is an apparatus for cooking grains. It's not only rice. Somebody else can say that an apparatus for cooking vegetables. So what is a strong independent preamble is like an apparatus for cooking. Simply meaning I can cook anything. Suppose this is a pressure cooker claim. I can cook anything, but nobody else can claim that something else can be cooked because I have already claimed it. So this is a preamble, an apparatus for cooking, an apparatus, a machine, a device, anything which is a preamble. Then comes the transition phase. So these are all the preamble, like non-motorized land vehicle, device for mounting a telephone. These are the preamble, means what is a product. Then come the transition. Suppose I am saying an apparatus comprising. Comprising is a transition phase. This could be open-ended or closed-ended. If I'm saying comprising, simply meaning, yes, it is comprising of this component A, component B, component C, but yes, some other parts could also be there because I have used word comprising. If I use the word consisting of, it will consist of component A, B, and C, but nothing else are there. So somebody else can file a patent using some other component D because I have used the word essentially consisting of or consisting of. So this become a closed-ended transition phase, which I am closing my innovation in just 3 components by using the word essentially consisting. So what I suggest, use the word comprising. It's comprised of. Some else could also be there. So why it is there? Because I'm covering and I'm just protecting my innovation from infringement. So open-ended is including, containing, characterized by, These are like privileged kind of transition phase. But yes, if you are using essentially consisting of, and you are very sure that this machine or this device cannot be made else than these three components, then definitely you can use that. It doesn't mean that you are just covering everything. You are covering just three components, but you are very sure that nobody else can make the same device um, just beside those three components. Then you can use definitely a closed-ended fridge. What is important here, we should also not infringe others. If we are writing comprising and then we are thinking we can add something else later on, then it might be the case that that is already reported. And somebody else can say that you have used my component. So yes, you are infringing, and that is again a case that is not a good for you. So you have to be very sure about innovation, whether to use a closed-ended transition phase or an open-ended phase. Then comes, like these are all these examples, apparatus consisting like this. Body of the claim. Whenever we have used the preamble, then transition phase, the third part comes the body of the claim. So first, preamble is an apparatus for holding item, comma, this is a syntax part, comprising, colon, is must, this is syntax, and then these are the components which are the body of the claim. So these are the body, which are the parts. Why? What is important here? You have to interconnect the component together to make it a single innovation. It shouldn't be listed like this. This is the red one. They are showing that you are just listing down the components, but you are not interconnecting all of them. So it doesn't fall in the criteria of unity of invention. Unity of invention means all your components should work together and they are forming a single innovative concept. If you just arrange your component or list down component, it's simply giving an idea that you are assembling the components. And according to the Patent Act, if you assemble something or just arrange something, it becomes non-patentable. So even if you have done an innovation, but you have not written it correctly by linking them together, it becomes just a list and it falls in the criteria of non-patentable item. And Patent Office outrightly reject the claim. Say that it's just an assembly, arrangement, nothing innovative. So it's very important that whenever you write down the body or the component, they should be joined together and interlinked so that each part is supporting each other. So like this, comprising at least one leg and the top configured to support at least one leg. So it's simply meaning that these are all supporting your preamble and apparatus for holding items. So it should be very much composed well. I'm just giving you a very brief example of a tennis racket. That is a game device. I'm using the word a game device, not a tennis racket, because if I'm using a tennis racket, anybody else can make a badminton racket using the same component and market it. So here I am covering all kind of rackets, tennis racket, badminton racket, all could be covered here. What is the red part? It is the game device comprising a handle, head portion and protrusion. Simply it is giving a wrong idea that we have just assembled the parts and joined together. So it's simply being rejected by Patent Office because it is a arrangement, assembly, not patentable. But here it is written like this: a game device, comma, after preamble you have to write a comma. Then after transition phase you have to write the colon. And all the bodies, means all the components, must be separated from each other through semicolon. And at the last you can write down a full stop. So this is the syntax of writing the patent claim. So here I am writing a game device comprising a handle, head portion connected to the handle and a protrusion being secured to the handle. So simply meaning all these three are linked together and which are forming all the components of a game device. A game device cannot be made by each of them. It can be accepted by the patent office. But the same innovation could be rejected. So simply meaning you have to interconnect. You have to make a unite innovation. So here, Jepson claim is also very important nowadays because here we are stating the improvement also. So here I am stating that my game device is having a handle, throat portion, head portion, wherein The improvement comprises a protrusion being secured to the handle. The innovative step is itself being written in the claim. It becomes a very strong claim, Jepson claim, where you can write down the, means like what is the advantage also. So improvement or advantage, if you write like this, it becomes a very strong claim. And this is just a first independent claim. Like all this, I think this is a little bit clear part. The syntax part is important here, because from patent examiner point of view, it becomes very important. Claim phrases are there. Whenever we write an independent claim, all my later on dependent claims must be resting on that. So suppose this is the first independent claim. Game device having a handle, throat portion, head portion connected to throat portion, wherein the improvement comprises a protrusion secured to the handle. Jepson claim. This is an independent claim. Here you can see every component is listed in the independent claim, linked to each other, and improvement is also described. Now you have to elaborate. Why? Because you have to elaborate each and every component that become your patented item. Nobody else can use that material, can use that component, and can make the same thing. So for that, the dependent claim become like this. Game device, according to claim 1, wherein the protrusion is configured to receive the palm of the user. You have elaborated the independent claim in a very simple way. Now the third claim will become a game device according to as claimed in the claims 2, wherein the protrusion is made up of a rubber material. Clear? So one by one, your all claims will be dependent on the previous claim, and you are elaborating it thoroughly. So it's a very broad one, independent claim, and go on narrowing down the components so that you are elaborating each and everything in detail in your dependent claims. Abstract should be drafted in such a way that it is giving the full technical intervention, all technical problems that you have solved, all human interventions that you have applied, and it should be briefly drafted in 150 words. Okay? It should give a better information to the third parties also, and then you have to write down the disclaimer. Disclaimer is that like you're protecting yourself from any kind of dispute. So simply it's a legal way to write it that whatever is reported is based on the prior art search reports and background summaries, and innovative steps have been added accordingly. And if anything is there, then it could be a subject matter of search or further investigation. In this way, a disclaimer, if you write, then you will be more protected. If some patent officer somewhere raise the objections against you, you can say that, yeah, I have stated a disclaimer. Now I can amend. I can go further. So in this way, your patent application is being done. I'm giving you a very small example of a patent. This is a patent which has received many awards. And yes, this is a very successful patent application. Smart helmet. What is this? 106. Again, I'm saying they have drawn a helmet and they have labeled the part as 106. So here they have cited it as a 106. Then for a vehicle they have drawn and then they have labeled it as 108, having an engine owned by a driver of the vehicle. Again, you have to write down the citations everywhere that you have drawn in a picture. So you have to draw it thoroughly so that your design also becomes patentable. Having a wireless communication with the smart helmet. The smart helmet comprising, you can see this is one independent claim, which is such long, which is containing each and every component in broad. Microcontroller, switch, panic switch, alcohol sensor modules, light dependent resistor, GPS module, all these things they have included in the independent claim. So simply meaning anybody else cannot use any of those components unless until they make it better. So this is one independent claim. Here they have elaborated every broad topic, every such as microcontroller, switch, every broad component in detail. And later on, they went for the dependent claim where the smart helmet as claimed in the claim 1, further comprising a camera to receive live video feed around the driver wearing the smart helmet. So they have already said in the independent claim that they have a camera. But what are the features of a camera are elaborated in the dependent claim. So simply dependent claim will elaborate all the features of your independent claim, and yes, all those dependent claims are actually protecting your innovation. So what you write, it becomes yours. What you do not write is open for using by others. So they can use it and you cannot sue them for infringement because you have not write in your patent application. So everything must be elaborated, and if you are not covering it, definitely it is open, so somebody else can use. So in this way, the patent application can be drafted. Actually, this is a big field of patent where important parts are the patent search. That itself takes long many lectures. Then comes what items are patentable, what not patentable. This also become a long way to go. But now for especially for computer science department, I have something to say is that if you have a very good computer program, definitely every computer program that is new novel, that should be that is a subject matter of copyright. And if that computer program is being used as a software for some applicable material, for development of hardware, for some machine, even for using in banks, everywhere you can go for the patenting of the product. So nowadays, lot many computer or software related patents are being granted by the Indian Patent Office. Right now, the Patent Office is accepting the patent paper applications also. During the lockdown time, it was closed. They were accepting only the e-filing. Nowadays, paper filing is also open. So you can definitely file the patents and take the advantage of that. So if any question is there, I can definitely answer because this is a very broad field and it cannot be covered in a single lecture, but I will be happy to solve your queries.
Yes, ma'am. We have some questions from participant. So I have noted the questions. Can we start the question answer session or something?
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay. So wonderful session, ma'am. First, from your end, it was very knowledgeable and elaborative. So the question that I have received from participant is like, can a planning of anybody home can be patented in future by the help of IoT as a new type of infrastructure work will be seen?
Sir, can you please repeat it?
Can a planning of anybody home can be patented as in future by the help of IoT, Internet of Things, a new type of infrastructure work will be seen?
Yes, yes, definitely. But that idea, if you have a planning, if you have an idea, that must give you a tangible product later on. Then only it could be patented. So for getting a patent, you should have some tangible product in your hand. If you have just an idea, then it could be like a written matter. If it is a very novel idea and you can present it beautifully, you can go for copywriting it. But for patent, you need a proper tangible product, something which could be tangible. Tangible means like definitely you can understand. Like it could be felt. It should be have a proper solid object or a process.
Okay, ma'am. Another question that I have received is in education sector, what is important aspect regarding patent?
In education sector, whenever we are doing some research, normally projects are being done by students and faculty members. So those must be patented, I think, because once the project is being done, I'm not saying that every product must be patented and a company must be opened by everybody. It's not possible actually, some for everyone. But yes, once you get a patent, you can go for IP licensing. You can give license to some software firms, and yes, you can generate revenue regarding that, and it's another kind of entrepreneurship. So it's the academic entrepreneurship that whenever you do something, you should go for patenting it. Means you protect it. Simple meaning, you protect it. Nobody else can do, because what happens in academics, a student or a faculty member do a very good project this year. After 3 years, somebody else can do the same almost by making some modifications. and then your project become like a prior art. And if you don't have the protection over it, you don't have any control over that. So I think if you don't even open a company, if you don't go for startup, but still you can go for IP licensing, should at least protect your work, what you have done through so much hard work. So,
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Another question is, what is the minimum time for patent registration that is required?
time for patent registration. Okay. Once you apply for a provisional application, then once you apply, you get a priority date. So in India, the system of first to file is there. The person who filed first become the owner of the patent. And then you have a 12 months to register the complete specification. Now see, the date you reach the patent office or file your patent application, from that date, you have a 20 years of monopoly over the market. Suppose you have filed today, then you have filed complete after 12 months, then it took about 6 months or 1 year for examination, like 2-3 years have lapsed during this all those process, till you have 17 years left for marketing your product. So that is the lifespan of patent. Total 20 minus time lapsed in the processing of getting a patent. That is the life.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am, for the wonderful session. Any participant having question, you can post in chat box. The question that I have received from participant end, I have asked on behalf of participant. So if any question, then you can post in the chat box. And I request Shweta ma'am to proceed further for vote of thanks.
Thank you, Radhesham sir. So now we end up with the question answer session. Let me take the opportunity to thank our respected expert of the session, Dr. Prachi Pandey ma'am. Ma'am, your rich knowledge and wisdom in this area enlightened us a lot today. The way explained all the concept was really helpful. Thank you so much, ma'am, for accepting our invitation and guiding us with your valuable knowledge. I further like to thank Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Sunil Kumar Gupta sir and respected Professor S.C. Chaube sir for providing the opportunity to organize events under TechCube 3. I would like to thank our management, Honorable Chairman Sir Shri Vinod Kumar Agrawal, Vice Chairman Sir Shri Sanjay Kumar Agrawal, respected Group Director Sir Dr. Joy Banerjee, and respected Dean Sir Professor K.S. Jairaj for always encouraging us to organize this kinds of program for the benefits of the academic fraternity. Thanks to all the participants for active participation.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for accepting our invitation.
Thank you
And
so
we
much.
will.
It was a great privilege to address you.
Thank you, ma'am.
everyone.
Thank you very much. Participants, I have shared the link of feedback form. So please provide your feedback. And as I informed in the morning session also, please mention your correct name and correct college name. That will be printed in the certificate. So we will take your details from feedback form regarding certificate preparation. It will take 8 to 10 days time for certificate preparation, and we will inform you by mail once the certificate is prepared from our end. So just wait for 8 to 10 days. And regarding PPT, we will share you the PPT by mail also. So just be in touch with us on the mail, and if any query, then you can contact via mail or Dr. Manmohan Singh sir, who is the coordinator for this webinar. So thank you once again, ma'am, for accepting our invitation, and thanks to all the participants for their active listening and active participation. So I request Deepak sir to end the meeting. Deepak sir?
Yes, sir.